Hey everyone, I'm really excited to show you the little project I started working on in my home shop. There goes my beautiful dog Kona. When we bought this home a couple years ago, it was a dream come true, which I'll share a little bit more about. Obviously, I love my home that's sitting over there, but you know, my wife really fell in love with the home. I fell in love with this. As soon as I saw this place, I thought, oh my God, I gotta have it. But if you look at this roof pitch, that's about 30 feet up. So it's pretty massive. This footprint, I think, is a little under 2,000 feet. Let me show you a little bit about what we're doing, what we're planning to do in here. It's pretty deep. This garage is pretty deep on this side. You could probably fit 2 cars tandem this way. And then obviously you have all of this side. And then let me see if I can show you the roof pitch again. It's quite tall. So it just made a lot of sense for me to build this little man loft, I'm calling it, right? And the way this started was when I first moved in. Obviously, I knew I wanted to do something with the space. As you guys know, I'm a motorhead, love cars and motorcycles, that kind of stuff. And I thought to myself, God, I need to build myself a man loft. And it really, everything kind of came together. One time I was having a party at my house. We had some guys in my office. We were smoking some cigars, and the cigar smoke leaked all over the living room and the kitchen and made it unpleasant for everybody who don't smoke, right? So anyway, I thought I need to build a man cave where I can go and bring the guys out and do whatever the heck we want, and no women allowed at all, other than the babes we let in. Anyway, this is about 11 feet up. As you can see, I'm going to try to build that way and go pretty far out that way as well, but I'll probably have just enough room here above where it's going to be either a room, some sort of sleeping quarters, or an office. I may just work out of my garage. How cool would that be? And then if you come up here again, this will be the main loft area where we're going to lounge around. And this ceiling here is also about 12 feet from the floor, so it's quite high. And this will be the main area where we have a refrigerator, bar, mini bar, that type of thing. And I don't know for sure if I'm going to build a wall or half wall or what's going on over here, but I'm guessing it's going to be like a half wall, so I can see over the garage and take a look at my cars and motorcycles that I'll be obviously trying to fill. That would be my second goal, right? Is to fill this garage with cool stuff. And then there's going to be a bump step here, and then a platform that goes all the way that direction. And that section will be another lounging area. I don't know, it's just going to be a man space. So pool tables, what have you, you know? And the nice thing about this whole thing is it started out as simply a dream. I'm going to turn this around. I don't know if you can see this, but basically I started dreaming about this place 10, 12 years ago when this first area was being developed. And this is when I didn't have any money. I would drive through here and dream on my dream board, someday I'm gonna live here. And I worked very, very hard towards that dream, and I never knew when. I didn't have a date back then. I didn't really know how to put dates with my dreams, but I thought someday I'm going to live here. And many, many years passed, and I continued to grow my businesses, and one day I was able to buy some land even. And ultimately I didn't build on that land. I ended up moving to another home, but living here was still my dream. Like, someday I'm going to live here. And you know, lo and behold, 10, 12 years later, you know, God grants me this amazing blessing. And we obviously work very, very hard for it. And that's the important thing I want you to know, is that it's not just a magical thing where you set a dream. It's something that you look at, you stare at, you think about, how can I? And you press and you press and you press. And you work harder than anybody else. And one of the comments I made in a meeting the other day was, you know, if people don't call you crazy, that means you're not working hard enough, right? I heard crazy so many times, like, you're crazy. You know, not in a bad way, like you're crazy, you do too much drugs or anything like that. You know, crazy that, hey, I can't believe you're trying to do that. That's an incredible dream. That's impossible. I've heard that so many times. I think a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to that. And so now, even now, I have even more massive dreams. And I've never shared with, other than my close business partners and my friends, what my dreams are. But I'm going to throw it out there, you know, and it's scary. The very first time I even had a giving goal, I had a giving goal of $100,000, and it was massive. I wasn't even giving close to that, and I thought, man, it'd be awesome to give $100,000 a year someday. And, you know, and the very first time I had a massive goal, it scared me. I never thought, I shouldn't say I never thought I could reach it. I did, obviously, that's my goal, but it was scary. It was very scary. And so my newest goals now is I want to give away $1 million a year, and I know that's a massive goal. But I know there's people who are doing that. I know there's amazing people out there doing much better than that. And I'm not comparing myself to them. I'm comparing myself to the best version of me. What's the best version that I can be? And so that's my goal. And when I first set that goal, I was just starting to give 6 figures a year, and it was obviously a monster goal. And I don't know if I ever hit it, quite honestly, but my goal is to hit that in the next 5 years. And we're getting closer and closer every year. All I know is I'm working very, very hard towards it. That's something we talk about in our office meetings. We talk about our giving goal. And, you know, I have other massive goals. Some are personal, like I someday want to buy a private jet. And you would think, that's crazy. And those of you who know me well, you know how frugal I am. I rarely fly other than coach because, you know, I figure, God, it's a 7-hour flight, a 10-hour flight. I can suffer for those 7 hours or 10 hours. And, you know, it's 1/5 the cost of business or first class, right? And so I never thought it's worth it. So unless it's a very special occasion, like our 25th anniversary, we flew first class or something like that, I rarely do fly first class, even though I can afford it. So you guys know how frugal I am. And so if I were to buy a jet, it must mean that I've given away a lot more than $1 million a year. And it must mean that I've done a lot of amazing things with my money. And so that's more of a personal, like, wow, I've achieved a lot financially in that. And one of the other things I wrote down was you know, like a beachfront house, you know, like over Laguna Beach or over some sort of beach where you have unobstructed views of the ocean, where you could actually walk down the stairs and walk the beach. That's a dream of mine. And that's not really so much for me. I always grew up around the ocean. And so I want my family to enjoy that as well. So all of those dreams are massive. All of those I may never hit it, but I have those goals and I look at it and I work at it and I have something to achieve. And all of you who are out there who are pursuing your dream, it's scary, it's monstrous, but have that, set that. Your brain will start figuring out, how can I live in an oceanfront estate? How can I give away $1 million? And these are things, and your dreams may be much, much smaller, right? But they're still monstrous to you. Understand, when I first started setting goals, my first goal was, someday, Lord, I want to free my wife. My wife wants to stay home, raise her kids, but right now she's forced to work with me because I can't afford it. And I thought to myself, someday I want her to do that. I don't know. I wasn't even brave enough to say when. I didn't say 5 years, 10 years. I say someday, right? And I just worked towards it. But I kept on thinking about that. But it was scary. But ultimately, she got free. Ultimately, I've been able to do a few things in my life. And I just hope that this video is an encouragement to you, that to set goals, to have scary goals, and just trust that you are enough. You are enough right now. Yes, you're going to try to become the better version of you, but you are enough right now. And that God has huge plans for you, and you're going to do amazing things. All right, guys, have an awesome weekend, and hope this video finds you well. Freedom.